International Migrant Day, a day the UN is setting aside to recognize the contributions of migrants and the struggles of their personal journeys. The UN estimates 3,400 migrants and refugees this year already have lost their lives trying to find salvage in the world. With me now in studio is Mutasim Ali, who's a board member with the African Refugee Development Center. Sir, thanks so much for being with us. I want to start with some developing news. Israel today says that they are going to re-examine the asylum requests of 1,500 Sudanese migrants. They're admitting the process wasn't really fair to them. The interview process was not complete and done in good faith. So more than 1,000 Sudanese applicants will have their cases reviewed. Is that a good start, do you think? What do you make about that?
First of all, thank you for having me. I think this is a very good step in my view. It's supposed to happen years ago. I mean, people were having their asylum claims pending for many years, and to have the government only reviewing their cases now is too late, but I think it's an important step. But I really doubt the transparency of the process, because the Minister of Interior's intention is to reject asylum claims, and so I'm not sure how transparent it is. But I think it is an important step forwards.
People have a lot of, especially with Israel, with migrants from Africa, they have a lot of stereotypes or preconceptions. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you overcame some of them.
Right. One of the major problems with refugees around the world, in Israel in particular, is that people look at refugees as a threat and people who are endangering their demographic societies. And it is really unfortunate for people like me and many others who had to flee their countries, not because we chose to flee our countries. People left everything behind, their families, their homes were destroyed. You know, I had to endure imprisonment and threat to my life, and making all the way to Israel to seek asylum, and then all of a sudden you see the society treats you as, you know, as alien. They use terms to dehumanize and criminalize refugees and asylum seekers. It's really unfortunate, and it's unfortunately happening not just in Israel but also worldwide.
Today is International UN. The UN has designated as Migrants Day. The Israeli outlet Ynet, they got statistics from police on this issue, specifically dealing with African migrants, and they have the statistics that say, well, migrants are committing more, the police are opening more cases with migrants in Israel than compared to other citizens. We should note, by the way, that the Ynet report doesn't say that these are actually suspects or not convicted. We just say it's a report that says cases opened. The police have opened cases with more migrants from Africa compared to the general population. I guess, is crime a concern when people talk about migrants being dangerous or committing more crime because of their condition, their economic condition? How do you respond to that?
First of all, I don't want to justify the crimes committed by anyone, but the report of the Israel Immigration Center, which is published in Ynet, unfortunately, is meant to, you know, to criminalize refugees and asylum seekers, and basically taking partial information and data to fit it in a way that, you know, in line with their agenda. And actually, the Israel Immigration Center is basically the center that proposed the deposit law that dehumanizes and makes the life of refugees and asylum seekers so impossible and difficult. Now, the crimes and reports, as we see in the Ynet, absolutely not true, and the number of crimes actually declining. If we look at the 2017 compared to 2014, we see a big decline in the crimes committed among refugees and asylum seekers. But on top of that, I think the question here is not about the crimes committed by refugees and asylum seekers, but rather what are the policies, what policies that the government is taking to handle the issue of asylum seekers. I think we need to focus on policies more than the
What
crime.
policy do you want to see more than any other, especially, let's say, in Tel Aviv, where tens of thousands live and they're struggling for acceptance and for a better hope? What's a big policy you want to see change?
The main policy is for the government to treat refugees and asylum seekers in dignity and with integrity. And on top of that, I think refugees and asylum seekers have to be given proper documentation to live in a dignified way so that there can be an added value to the society.
Mutasim Ali with the African Refugee Development Center, doing important work here in Israel. Great to have you on Daily Dose. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you so much.